Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Fields, and I'm back. Just want to get my thoughts on the fights this weekend. Pretty much caught the main ones: that Billy Joe Saunders, Martin Murray, caught that Yard, and Lyndon Arthur, and of course, I bought that Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia. You know, to see the return of Earl the Truth Spence Jr. But I just started with that Billy Joe Saunders fight. It's a cool fight. Billy Joe Saunders is a really good boxer. Definitely is a high level, highly skilled boxer. Then Martin Murray, is more of just a back and forth. I didn't see Billy Joe go for the gusto or anything. He was throwing some nice combinations, kept the jab, really nice left hook, and body work, head body. Definitely saw a lot of good work. Like I said, Billy Joe Saunders is a good boxer, but I just want to see him step up like in these recent times against a decent opponent. At 160, I really want to see the Andre GGG Canelo, and then he jumps up to 160. Didn't really look good against the Argentine fighter, and then of course now Martin Murray, and then we'll see, if he gets a shot at at the Callum and Canelo winner. Maybe he fights Plant. Maybe Benavidez gets a shot. Who knows? But I just don't see Billy Joe doing a ton at 168, but we'll see. I don't want to count him out. He's a good fighter, but I definitely would have Caleb above him. That would be a chess match that I would favor Caleb in. I don't know. He doesn't beat a Canelo. We'll see. David Benavidez, any of these guys. Maybe the lower tier at 168. But I really like to see him go down to 160 and fight Andrade. That's a fight I'd be interested in seeing. But anyway, good win for Billy Joe. We'll see what he does next. That Yard fight, Yard definitely needs more tools, probably needs a new trainer. I've heard a lot of people say that, but just looking at him in this fight, he just was completely limited. He couldn't find a way around or inside Lyndon Arthur's jab. He lost with the jab. We seen yet another fight, like the Du Bois fight a couple weeks ago, last week, whatever it was, where he lost with a jab. He got beat with a jab. He tried to jab with Lyndon Arthur. He's a shorter man. He didn't cut off the ring. He was just following Arthur all around the ring, trying to jab with him. He has a shorter jab, so you're not gonna, he wasn't slipping, trying to get on the inside. He wasn't double jabbing his way in. Overhand rights. Nothing. That 12th round should have been the whole fight. He probably would have knocked Lyndon Arthur out. The dude, I'll say, I haven't seen a ton of his fights, but I'm saying from the looks of it, I'll say he can fight, but he just didn't look like he had that much. I just was wondering why Yard wasn't pressuring this dude. Why weren't you jumping on this man? Had him hurt in the 12th round. He could have did a lot more of that in the beginning of the fight, but I don't know where Yard goes from here. Definitely at light heavyweight. I don't know. I don't know what else he does. Maybe he gets a new trainer, works on some boxing fundamentals, some basics. I don't know. We'll see where he goes from here, but I like Anthony Yard. He does have the tools. He has the attributes. Physically, you do see the boxing ability. You just don't see him use it as much. You see it maybe in spots, but maybe he gets in situations where he doesn't know how to set it up and get, second guess himself, doesn't want to get countered, something like that. And of course, he's been stopped, so that can be a factor. It could have been getting popped by that jab and just having thoughts and flashbacks of the Kovalev fight. But anyway, we'll see what Yard does. Good win for Lyndon Arthur, though. I'm pretty sure that's a really good win for him. He was the underdog. But just moving on to the Errol Spence Jr. and Danny Garcia. Of course, it was an excellent fight. I was really, really happy to see Earl just out there, just looking comfortable. Didn't look, of course I could see a little bit of the ring rust. I kind of think he was doing stuff just for the sake of, like he said on his Twitter, he was bored. He was throwing just kind of some wild shots and putting himself out of position, and just, he was probably just having fun in there. I think he saw or felt as if, Danny didn't have anything for him. And so he was just kind of doing whatever and just getting the rounds in, of course, after that accident and the year layoff and whatnot. But definitely was a great return for Earl the Truth Spence Jr. Danny Garcia looked decent. He got beat up I think he got really discouraged. There was something I can't remember. I gotta go back. I gotta go back and watch the fight. But there was something Andy Garcia said in the corner that I just seen the look on his face. It just kind of lowered the countenance in the corner. You know what I mean? It was just like he went back out there and he was discouraged. And you could just see it on his face. I think toward the middle rounds, toward the later rounds as well. Because Earl faded a little bit. I saw him get tired. He kind of backed off, just kind of worked the jab, pop shot a little bit, moved around a couple rounds. But Danny didn't really have enough to really capitalize on it. I think maybe Danny won probably 2 or 3 rounds. He wasn't scoring the fight, but just looking at it, Earl definitely dominated, majority of the fight. You could probably argue that maybe he got 2 or 4 rounds or say, but that was a great fight. We'll see what Danny does from here. Who knows what he'll do. Of course, he's lost at the top of the division. He has 3 losses now. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Earl Spence. Maybe he petitions for a Crawford fight. Maybe he moves up. Who knows? But Danny Garcia is definitely a good fighter. I have no doubt that he'll be back. And anybody, whoever he is matched against, is in for a night. And, that's going to be a good fighter on any day, So, I've always liked Danny. But of course, Earl's just too much. Earl was the better boxer, just superb. I mean, Earl's work rate is just tremendous. Even after all of this, you just seen him still throw, I think, like 700 punches. I mean, his work rate is incredible. That's how he pressures fighters, and just consistent pressure, always throwing punches, jabbing, head, body. I like the little move where he'll jab to the head, kind of hold the head for a second, and then do that sharp left to the body. And just all these things, man. And Earl got so many tools. I don't even think we've seen all of his game. I've seen flashes just going back. I probably watched about 7 Earl fights this week, and I saw just different things that he was doing in different fights, stuff that he didn't do in this fight, things that he did in this fight. And, I just think different fights bring different things out of him. But the Terence Crawford fight is definitely gonna bring the best out of him. Manny has lost a step. I could still say Manny is game and could bring the best out of Earl, but I see Earl just stopping Manny Pacquiao. But we'll see. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. Manny Pacquiao still out here. He holds a major world title, and so we'll see. But I definitely think the fight to make is Crawford. That's going to be, for legacy, for everything, for all the marbles, everything. And so, well, not all the marbles, of course, if Pacquiao still holding his belt, but still, that's the fight that all the fans want. I think Terence Crawford is like 33, Earl's like 30. So, I mean, I don't want Terence Crawford to be like 35, 36 before we get this fight. Probably if the fight doesn't happen next year, we're probably already past it. You know what I'm saying? So, the fight definitely has to happen next year. They're going to have to figure this out. It has to happen next year. I could care less what the politics are, what the back and forth. This fight has to happen next year. But Earl looked good. It was a good showing from Danny. I definitely enjoyed all the fights. That night, the kid, the Fundora kid, that kid is just interesting. 6'6", 154 pounds. Had no business. Well, I know his original opponent checked out, but that replacement, he just looked befuddled. But yeah, man, definitely if you enjoyed listening, the reaction to the fight this weekend, give the video a like. Consider subscribing. Definitely bring you some more post-fight reactions. Probably start throwing in some pre-fight predictions, that kind of thing, as we start to work on the channel. And speak my piece on the sport of boxing. But I appreciate you listening. Like I said, like the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one. And I'm out.